Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Uh, it's time for another tutorial. Let's see what the fuck is happening. Okay, so for this tutorial, I was thinking we can do some thinking particles, and the kind of main thing to take away from this is the memory node, which, if you're new, sorry about that. My throat is killing me like always. uh, if you knew, I don't even remember where I was. So, yeah, memory node. It's a very useful node in thinking particles, and it's something that you need to learn and use because you will for so many things. Uh, and for this tutorial, we're gonna end up with this. It's a bit fast, but whatever. So it's crumbling down, and then it comes back to original position again. Quite nice, easy to do, always useful, and fuck, my mic is in the way of my coffee drinking. So yeah, so what's going on here? See if we can talk talk this through. So we have our text. You can have anything. I'm just having a text. Oh my god, I can't even read. Uh, and I am fragmenting this in thinking particles, but you don't have to do that. You can use Rayfire or any other plugin out there if you want to, and we're activating the particles to fall down. I kept a little bit underneath to not crumble, and then really fast though I should have changed that, but it goes to its original position. And how are we doing that? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the memory node, because we are storing the position and alignment of each particle on frame 0 and only frame 0. And because of that, we can use a bring to node and use the position and alignment from our memory to have them go to that place. It's quite simple. And to not have cracks, because we are using physics, we are turning off the physics in the end, so it kind of builds up. Otherwise, you are probably going to have some crack showing. Of course, if you're using a refractive material, you are going to have cracks because it's not going to like repair itself. But yeah, so we're going to do this, and I guess we can take it into After Effects and do the tiny bit of thing that I did in there. Okay. So what I have here is I prepared. I have a just a box. It's just in the object properties we have display as box and not renderable. And I have the text, and I have a spherical gizmo. You can use anything. I'm using a gizmo, and that's pretty much it. Let's go into TP. See if I can. It's so tiny. So tiny. I think I say that every time. I'm gonna keep on doing it. Let's create some groups, and for being all organized, which I'm not, we're gonna do it the correct way. System, and inside of here we're going to do something. And here I'm doing the same thing, so I don't cache the master dynamic. That's not good, because if I want to do some more stuff with our cached system, I can't because I have cached the master dynamics. So it's better to being able to cache this, and then we can like create something else and still affect this kind of. Okay. So we have what we call it. I suck at name. Deflectors, and we have physics, Whoa, what's going on? Bought a new mouse today. It sucks. Yeah, it does. OBJ, that's where our imported object is gonna be. Oh, look at that. Look at that. What have I done? Shame on me. And in here we have, what do we have? What do we want to call it? Frags, maybe? I'm going to put something outside of these and call this like frags no physics. Awesome. Look at that. So pretty. So pretty. Yes. We have our born. And I'm going to use, you can click on tab and do like OBJ, object to particle if you want to. And we're gonna pick our, oh my god, put that into object. We don't have to track it because we don't have any animation. So it looks like I still have, what do I have? That's the one I have. Shit. I was gonna say shame on me. I've said it so many times. But I'm just gonna turn that off or on or whatever you want to call it, so it's on the fly when I change stuff. It's fine if you when you're not doing like any big systems. I mean, you don't want to use this on something if you have loads of particles. But yeah. Okay, where was I? Let's add a couple of more. This is SC. I'm using shape collision and not bullet. Bullet didn't work that well for this, but bullet is pretty damn good. So, but just I got some popping and whatnot. The deflector is going to be everything that is in the deflector group, which is the object. And here we're going to have everything that's in the physics, going to have physics. Although deflectors is also kind of physics, but yeah. We want to have a floor node, so it's in the helper node. Let's do that, and with the node we can pick anything. In my case, I'm picking the floor that we can't see. Cool. What else? Let's see. What do we need more? We need to volume break. So let's name this VB. And what do we want to volume break? We want to volume break our object, which is the oh my god. And we can do like this. Active. Why not? Frags. Do like that. Pretty. So pretty. We will put this in a group. And that would be the frags inactive. 100% active, otherwise it's just going to fragment this, but it's still going to be like one object, even though this is a particle. But we're not using any of these, we don't have to click it off. But here's the one that we want to use, the volume break. So 4% perhaps. I'm not going to go too high for this tutorial. So you can see here, we can give this some coloring. The active can be like green pastel, beautiful. The no frag obviously is going to be purple pastel. Oh, I'm sick if you wonder. So if you want to send me some flowers, that's totally fine. What else do we need? Let's see. So we have that. We want to activate activator. I might do this in the wrong order, but we can fix that later. So what I want to do is I want to I know what I want. I want to do the memory. How could I forget? And I want to do the frags inactive because that's now we have all our particles. We're not gonna make more. I'm gonna take these, and you know what? To be like all perfect and all, we want to create our main memory somewhere at the top, so we don't delete it because that's gonna break everything otherwise. So I'm gonna create a memory. Put this up top here. That's whoa, I can't spell. Important, I think. And here we can create our stuff. We want a position, boom, and an alignment, boom. That's all, folks. You can go home. Now we take another memory, and now we have these here, as you can see. Drag them in here. Oh, and we do this. And let's expose particle position and alignment, like that. Now, of course, if we drag, it's going to record every frame, okay, with a depth of 0, I believe, as a default. I don't know, I'm not sure. But we just want the first frame, or frame 0, because that's the original position. So we can use a time interval. Put the on, and all these conditions are like booleans: on, off, true, false. 0, 0, fine. So now we have stored every particle's position and alignment. Awesome. Right? So cool. So cool. Now we can do a activator. And here, big letters. Oh, whatever. Let's see. Now we want to use this. What groups do we want to activate? We want to activate the frags in. I wonder if I did this right. Yes, I did. Frags inactive. These are the blue ones, and we want to use a condition and distance. We can use a node. Boom. The node is in the helpers standard node. We need to know the position of the node and the position of each particle, like that. Awesome. You can double click to remove all the unnecessary stuff. And now, what are we going to do? We want to send these particles into frags active. So how do we do that? Well, operator standard group. Let's show the on. So these shall goes to these and frags active. So boom, boom. But if you do it like this, they are going to, I guess, go to that group right away. We don't want that. We want to have the when it reaches the distance of, in this case, 10. So what we can do is, instead of having to tweak here, we can wire this. So this in the radius here controls the radius 2. So let's do that. Right click, wire, and let's see, where is it? Radius. Then we click on thinking particles. Click. Let's see, now I have to find it. Now you can't see this, but it's here somewhere. Let's see, activators, yes. You just have to find the distance and radius 2. Click on that. You get this box. and we want the sphere gizmo to control thinking particles. So arrow to that one, connect it, done. Now you can see this is grayed out, and we are controlling it with this. Cool, right? Super awesome. And I believe if I'm just using the plus signs, or I'm using dots and to go forward, and comma to go back, although going back isn't really a good thing to do. Oh, we have to pick the node. Boom. Look at that. Now, look at that. Awesome. If you're a beginner, you're gonna like, oh my god, it changed colors. It's so cool. My god. You know, the hourly rate just went up 500% just by knowing this. Just so you know. Now we're pretty much done with that. We can do some mass, I guess. Why not? I'm gonna save as well. I'm living like on the edge here. Boom, save. Never forget to save. Super important. So let's do I guess the object basically, and the frag's active. And mass. So mass, that's all relative, right? So, you know, one can be like fucking huge, or it can be so fucking small. It all depends on each other. So the object, I want those to be like, I don't know, 50. That's the remaining part that is just gonna stand still. Not sure if this even is important, but why not? And this, let's say 5. Oh, and by the way, size is mass as well. Boom. Let's call this forces. Now we're just gonna use the gravity probably. So, a quick way is to use a black box, dynamic gravity. Come on. So this is how you build one. What group do we want to affect? We have the force, 0.3 pointing down, a negative C. I'm gonna raise this up to like 250. And say everything in the physics should have gravity. So let's look at some properties of these collision detection. Voxel grid 1 means a perfect collision shape. Okay, so that's the most accurate one you can use. I'm just gonna put this to 1 on each of these. This doesn't matter, but whatever. Doesn't really move much. So perhaps we can use a little bit of a spin on those to kind of get them going, or I'm just gonna try to make this a bit more detailed. Wow, not much happening here. Let's see. This doesn't matter. Shouldn't matter, at least. We might need to adjust the friction. Probably not this one, but we can do that as well. This is how sticky they should be. The more you have here, the stickier they will be. Now stuff happens. They are falling. Let's crank this up a little bit. Not 300. now shit are happening. Oh yes. It's pretty awesome. Got some stuff going on here. Now, let's do the let them go back again. Let's put this above the SE and I don't know, bring 2, I guess. What we need is bring 2. That needs a particle. Let's see. Frags active. That. And we also need a memory. Stop bugging me. We need to have those at output. Let's see if this is the way we should have it. Boom. Old school, old style, I mean. Yeah, okay, so this is not gonna work because they are gonna try to find its way right away. So what we can do is we let them, we create a new group here. Frags go to, give this a blue, nice color. Let's see. Stop bugging me. So, we're gonna let them fall. Frags active. Let's have them fall for a while and then go to a new group. You know what we can do? We can just do like this. Because it's messing with me right now. Go to, and we can do that based on what do we want to do that based on? Velocity, perhaps? Okay, sorry about that. So we have this, let's just, we put an egg timer on here instead. So when they goes to frag active, we can do a frag active, put in an egg timer per particle here, and we add them, let them go to a new group, like so. Frags go to reached, say 40 frames. If I now push this, so they're gonna be 40 frames. No, guess not. Yo, now it's happening. Goes back. Should change the color. So let's see. Frag go to. Yeah. Now we need to put these frags go to into these frags no physics, because otherwise they are not going to become this perfect. So we're gonna start. Then we're gonna start seeing cracks. So it's just best to, we can just copy this. Need to copy this. Frags no physics in here, by the way. What we need is egg time, I think, can use. And since we have this at 40, let's put this, well, 30, perfect. Go to group, put them here. I'm going to try to explain this later. And let them go to no physics. So frags with no physics, it's just the same thing that we done here. Position, alignment, and let's say 10 frames. Now, it should work out all right. So playing this through. Now they start converting. Then here you can see they go to a non-physical group where they sorts itself perfectly. Let's make this longer. And now there are no cracks. Perfect. And I'm gonna first see if we can do something. Well, first of all, we only have per frame, so but it looks all right anyway, so we can just keep that. And I'm gonna volume break these a little bit more. Let's do 5,000. Let's see. Yeah, can have that. And I'm going to cache this. Right click on this icon, cache record, and we'll be back soon. And the caching is done, and here it is. Goes really fast, whoom, and it builds itself up. That's quite nice. And I think we are pretty much good with that. So let's just look it over once again. What are we doing? We have our memory. This is where we add in the stuff that we need. Okay. Then we have the born. In our case, we want to have our text. We just add that in, so it's a particle now. Then we have our volume break. We are volume break our object and put those into frag inactive. Here we have the memory where we are looking at the position and velocity of each particle and store that in the memory. Okay. And then we have the activators. It should be an S, but it shouldn't be an S, I mean. So we are, what we want to do is we check the distance between these inactive frags and our node, which are our spherical atmospheric gizmo. When it reaches the distance that we set here, it goes to a new group, frag active. And then we set an egg timer as well when we want them to go to a new group. Now, you could use like velocity or age, or I mean, you can do a bunch of stuff. A collision, when it hits the floor, it should go to a new group, etc., etc. And then we have the mass, force, basic. You know, it's just force. It's just everything that's in the physics group. Then we have the bring to, and here we have. Okay, so these frag go to when the frags go to that group, it starts to look for the position and alignment and go to that one, okay, within 40 frames, and then egg timer at 30 frames. This is per particle. It goes to the frags no physics, which does the same thing, but it doesn't have the physics, so we don't get any cracks. So this is the same as this, except for frags no physics instead of frags go to group. And then the shape collision, which we barely did anything with. Yeah. So that's that. So let's add in some lights. I render this like this. So let's create a V-Ray light. Because who doesn't like V-Ray? Am I right? Put this up here. Set this at 10 maybe. That's pretty much it for that. Nothing special. We can do invisible. Oh, there it is. Target. Shift drag. Make a new one. No, didn't I? Shift drag. Thank you. Let's see. Low setting, sure. We don't need any GI. No elements. Make a test render. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, cool. Now we can go. Oh, by the way, we didn't set the material, although that seems to work anyways. But if you wanted to, you could. You could, for example, in here, just like do all, since we're only going to render or particles. You can do so. You can say all, and do like material, shape material. Plug that in here, and then just drag in your material here. And also when doing VB, we have, let's see, oh here, material ID 2, so you could have like a material ID 1 will be the outside, and then the inside we can have another color or something else. But yeah, I'm not gonna bother with that. Seems to work anyways. So I'm gonna render this out. 720. Give this an output like that. Just place it wherever, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, active segment as well, and then we can render this out. Click on render, and it will be rendering this. So I'll see you in After Effects. So we are now in After Effects. I have imported my stuff, and we have it here. And it works perfectly. So right click, I'm gonna create a solid. Put this underneath. As long as you render this out in a file format that support transparency, you should be good to go. OpenEXR is always a good choice. You should never render out in something like JPEG or whatever. Let's see. Just moving the recording window a little bit so we can see shit. On this, I'm just gonna, of course, we can't see that. Wait a minute. Looks like I can't change that, so whatever. I'm gonna go to, where do I want to go? Wow, generate. Okay, generate fill. Can do that here as well. Have I moved that somehow? Like that. Type fill, yeah. But let's change this color. So we have, oh my god. Fuck's sake. Some dark blue maybe. And on this layer I want to use, I'm going to use Video Copilot's color vibrance. It's a nice one. It's quick. Like that, perhaps. Let's create an adjustment layer above that. And no, by the way, I want to have, who doesn't love a flare, huh? So Video Copilot, optical flares. Gonna put this to preview so we can see it in options here. Preset browser, can't remember which one I used. Maybe I should record in full resolution instead. You know, just pick something, whatever I say and can't pick. Yeah, let's do that one. Boom. Put this up here. Whoa. Yeah, like that. Nice. And what else did I do? I don't know. I probably just like did I always like to do blur, sharpen. It's always nice. So like 8 perhaps. And that's probably pretty much it. That's what I did. Just look at this. And of course you can play around with the settings in Thinking Particles to make it look even better. I just have to say that. Boom. Awesome. Let's end this here, and hopefully you learned something from this tutorial. And I guess we see each other in the next tutorial.